Hi, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Presentation Hell. We are broadcasting here from Embark Studios in Tampa, Florida. Today, I'm sitting with Neil Jirele, and his company is called AppyHour. Neil, good to have you here. Tell us a little bit about what AppyHour is and why I should be living my life with an AppyHour.
Well, first of all, it's great to be here, and thank you for that intro. So I'm the founder of AppyHour. And what we do is we put butts in barstools and lips to glasses.
Ooh, nice.
Like that. So
butts to barstools, lips to glasses.
That's right. And the way we do that is, we've got a mobile application for our users. So It's available on iOS and Android. Free download, no login required. Would love your feedback on it. But basically, what it does is shows you all the food, drink, and event specials going on at local bars and restaurants nearby. And we work with those bar and restaurant accounts to connect them with these actively seeking consumers. And then beyond that, we have a campaign platform for supplier brands. So beer, wine, and spirits brands that want to help drive awareness of the brand, but also drive those consumers to those bars and restaurants and ultimately drink their product.
So your business is built on top of the brands and the liquor and stuff. The consumer gets the benefit of this because, quite frankly, you're the party in my pocket. I can hit my freaking app and see who's serving margaritas right now on a special within a quarter mile of where that's basically what it is.
Yeah, anything from like happy hour specials, Taco Tuesdays, Burger Mondays, live music nights, karaoke, it grew beyond just like where can I find a cheap beer to, what is going on around me at local bars and restaurants. But the margarita example is a good one and a great use case.
All right, how about this as a use case? Put a game in there so that when a couple says, where do you want to eat? I don't know. I don't care. Anything you say. Well, I don't care. You say. And put the button in there and let it pick it out for you.
That's actually not a bad idea. I like that kind of a randomizer.
Well, it's everybody.
Make a decision for me.
That's right. You'd probably save a lot of relationships that way, I tell you. And
that's what we're here to do.
Yeah, that's right. That's the lips to the glasses bit, or the butts on the bar stools. Which one?
Both.
All right. So what brought you here today? Give me a little background. Tell me what the hell bit you in the ass that caused you to be here in this stool right now.
In terms of like how I got started?
Well, however, you can say, my mom caught me stealing Oreos and broke my finger, and I turned around and said I have to code something, and I don't want to. I don't know. I'm just telling you. Whatever you want to say. Was it a business thing? Was it I failed out of school and I had to do something? Was it I won the science project and everyone loves me and they threw too much money at me?
None of those, but so I ended up in this stool or in this seat because I had encountered the problem, and so I was abroad on a scholarship this summer when I was in college, and I had taken coworkers out for a beer, and I decided to pick up the tab, which was the wrong move. Got the check back, had to pick my jaw up off the floor. I was paying €8 per beer, which at the time was like $12. Thinking, how can I explore the city, find food, drink, and event specials going on near me so I can extend my euros and still enjoy the city.
So you were in college, wanted a party, wanted to be the big dude buying stuff, and realized it cost too much, and you wanted to provide an app to make it easier.
That was pretty much it, yeah.
The source for some of the greatest companies were, I just want to get a date, Facebook.
Right. It all started. So that was the impetus of the idea. But then on the walk back, I passed all these bars and restaurants. At one point, this really aggressive bar promoter grabbed my arm. He sat me down at the table. I thought I was getting pickpocketed when he grabbed my arm, but pulls me in, sat me down at a table, showed me a menu. I saw the same beers that I was drinking up the road for like a quarter of the price. And now I'm thinking, hey, not only is this a problem for me, who would have loved to have known this information, could have had a lot more fun, but it's a problem for these bars and restaurants that have no way to reach actively seeking consumers like myself at that point of decision making. So I recognized that there was a problem on both ends, and we could build something that would merge it.
So now that you recognize there's a problem, you see it, you're like, oh my God, this is big. What's your next step? What did you do that caused it to turn into a real app business product? Give me the timeline. How did it work?
If we're going way back, after
you were just in college a minute ago out in Spain finding a good place to drink. So let's go from there.
Yeah, from there. So I had this idea. I started putting together the business plan, and I started looking for alternatives, right? Like maybe I'm missing something, like this has to exist already. And I could not find anything. And so got back to University of Iowa where I went to school. Shout out to the Hawkeyes. And when I got back, I brought on my co-founder who was at the time studying computer engineering. And from there, where I was like, hey, I've got this really cool idea. Would love to like build it. We've got time. Let's test it out. And I went and got, user feedback initially to see if there's a market for it. Went and got, bar and restaurant feedback, see if there's a market for that, and got a ton of praise on the idea. And they're like, when are you launching? And so we kind of put our heads down and got the first version out. It took about 1.5 years or almost 2 to actually get it out. At that time, like the way that you could develop applications was a lot. There wasn't as many resources.
And when was that? How long ago was that? What year? Like,
I think we launched the first version of the product, the B2C side, was like 2017.
Okay.
So quite some time ago. And then
he's a young dude. Go ahead.
And it evolved a lot since then. But yeah, so we launched that, got some great feedback. Like the amount of traction that we were able to get in such a short period of time really proved the concept of like, hey, there's a need for this. But then we graduated, had to get full-time jobs, and I ended up on the distribution side of the industry where I recognized an even larger issue.
So you were distributing liquor?
Yeah, I was on. Yep, I was at a liquor distributor, top 5 national distributor, and I recognized, hey, like these distributors want to do one thing, and that is help their bars and restaurants better sell their products, so they're ordering more, and the brands want the exact same thing too. So I said, if we can extend our value proposition for even further upstream, now we have something that's much more scalable and much more lucrative. And so
was it ironic that you got a job in a liquor distributor after having this idea, or was that part of the focused effort? I needed knowledge and understood that if I'm not involved, I can't really sell this thing.
So it was a little bit of good luck as well as like planning. I knew that I needed to learn more about the industry, and so I knew at some point I needed to get a job at the distributor, but the way that the job ended up happening was a little bit of luck. But ultimately,
well, you know what luck is? Being in the right time, right place after doing your homework. Yeah. You did your homework about drinking. Obviously, in college, you were out fucking drinking everywhere. But after that, you came back in and... Here, let me just jump back a little bit. You had an idea. It sparked your own motivation and in turn guided the direction of where your prospects of what you were going to do thereafter.
That's correct, yeah.
So that's true entrepreneurial motivation of what's going on. That's genuine. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it was... I was interested, and we had a lot of really good things going for it, but I said, there's got to be a better way, because going door to door to scale this thing just wasn't going to be an option.
So how did you get it scaled bigger? How did you get all this information in here? I'm in Tampa. I clicked the button. I looked at it this morning, and it told me about an ugly sweater Santa run this evening.
Yeah,
and
the ugly sweater bar crawl.
Yeah, it hit there, but how does all that get in there? Like, if I hit the button in New York, am I going to get a similar thing in New York? If I do it in Iowa, am I going to get the local reindeer Christmas carol?
So we're not in every market yet, but the way that we kind of go to market is we have a really cool admin portal where we can import all of the bar and restaurant data, everything except for their specials and their events that are going on. And so we import a ton of that data, build these profiles, add some of these specials that these bars are already promoting. We go and acquire a ton of users, and then once we have that kind of condensed user base, we go to the bars and restaurants and say, hey, we're getting you a ton of exposure. We've got awesome tools for you to push notify and drive in traffic. Sign up.
Who pays your bills?
So we have our business model works 2 ways. It's freemium software as a service for the bars and restaurants, and then we have advertising component for the supplier brands.
So the supplier brands are advertising. They're not paying for placement yet?
They're purely advertising, yep.
Okay.
Right now.
And how has it been working? Are you paying your bills?
It's working. It's growing really, really well. A lot of it has been driven organically through like SEO. Happy Hour near me is searched almost half a million times every month in the U.S. And so a lot of people are finding us through that. And we've really been focusing on, building the product to a point where it's ready to be scaled out and to the point where it's like easily discoverable.
What markets are you in right now?
So Tampa Bay is our flagship market. We absolutely love it here in Tampa. A lot of the brands love it here in Tampa. If you can win as a brand in Florida, then you start bringing it into other states. It's a huge market for the beer, wine, spirits industry and the hospitality industry in general. We're also in Louisville and Denver, as well as Iowa City, and then a little bit in Minneapolis.
Presentation Hell is brought to you today by Shuffler. Shuffler is presentation management, and you can make presentations easier for everyone in your company. in the first part, we spoke about where the product came from, the need for finding local promotions and everything that goes into it. Basically, the local happy hour. Where is it nearby? How can I find it every day? So how does the consumer use this? How does it benefit me, someone who's about to go out and not knowing where to go, or this is to find something I might not know about? What's the best thing that happens to the basic consumer?
Yeah, so again, the idea initially started as like, how do you extend your dollars and find yourself a good deal on a drink? But then it evolved into local discovery, right? So if you are an AppyHour user, you may not care that they have cheap beers, but you may see that they have a patio that's right by the water and they have live music that evening. So you can really pick and choose the best of all the offerings that a bar or restaurant has. So you actually
bring full entertainment. It's not just liquor. It's not just happy hour. It's understanding what full entertainment's available.
Yeah, food, drink, and event specials is kind of what we focus on.
That makes sense.
Yep.
So it's almost like you could create a date wizard on it and spin the wizard and pick two places to go to and then force the decision, let alone dinner like we spoke about earlier. But this can make it because, quite frankly, people have a hard time making decisions nowadays. There's too many choices.
There's a lot of choices, and actually it's interesting you mentioned that because one of the things that we're building into it is as the app learns kind of how you're scrolling, just like any other platform, right? It recognizes what you may like best, and it'll start recommending spots for you based on your historical usage of the application. So that way, it'll whittle down that decision-making process for the end user and make it really easy for you to go out.
So you're telling me this thing's making a profile of my drinking?
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Are you going to sell this data to insurance companies?
That's not in our business plan.
Healthcare companies?
Not quite in the business plan.
Okay, just curious.
We're not going to out any of our users. Come on.
Okay, so you are actually, you're not selling data. That's not what you're doing. Your real process is about entertainment, bringing people together, getting it out there, helping move liquor, include food, and basically on the consumer's end, it's about making it easy to have a good time.
Yeah, 100%. And then, we do use the data, but the data is used to give you something in an AppyHour experience that is going to be better tailored to your preferences. So that's our biggest goal with this whole platform. And then that's going to show you the best beer offers if you're a beer drinker. It's going to show you the best bars that are sports bars because you like sports bars. And then those accounts, as well as those brands, are going to be paying for that exposure to that target consumer.
Do you connect with any of the online type reservation systems like Open Table and things like that, or is that something you're not considering yet, or you're just not there yet?
We can, so some of the, depending on what account it is, there are ways you can just find their profile and click the reservation button, and that will, pull the user to the whatever reservation platform that the account is using. But right now, we're not really in that market space. We're just trying to get that user into that account.
What's your city's rollout? What would you hope to have, like in 6 months? 6 more cities, 10 more cities, big international cities? Give me a reason to go to Paris.
AppyHour, right?
Exactly. Well, what the heck? If you're doing business in Paris and you got the app, then that's a business trip.
Yeah, it's a great point. So our goal is to, really crush it here in Tampa Bay and then build out a game plan to hit all the major destinations that we're seeing our users open the app up in. That includes Austin, Texas, New York, Los Angeles, Denver, Colorado, really activating that market further. And then, of course, in Florida, we've got Miami, Orlando. There's a lot of places here that we can still expand into quickly. Ultimately, the goal is you can use AppyHour while you're here in Tampa, and when you fly up to New York, you can open AppyHour and get the same kind of experience that you have here in Tampa.
So tell the audience how to get the product, how it's going to do it. This is your straight up ad. There's the camera. Tell us what you would tell the world.
Awesome. So if you are interested in finding the best food, drink, and event specials going on at local bars and restaurants, you can download AppyHour. It's available on iOS and Android. Otherwise, you can visit our website. We do have a web version as well, which is really cool. If you're a bar or restaurant, go to our website, www.appyhourmobile.com. Hit the Contact Us page. We will get your profile all set up. Again, it's freemium, so we can get all these accounts started for free. And then the same if you're a beer, wine, or spirits brand that wants to launch, activate, or grow your brand presence in a market, let us know. We're here to help.
Well, that's awesome. I wish the best for you. I think it's awesome. I'm going to use it to go out and have dinner in the near future, and should be great. I'd like to thank everyone, including, by the way, Neil Jirele sitting here is part of Embark Collective. My company, Shuffler, his company, AppyHour, is the beneficiary of a wonderful organization called Embark Collective. We're sitting in their studios right now podcasting. I'd like to thank you being here today. I want to thank our hosts and everyone involved. And presentation hell, this is where we are.